Yesterday, about 24 hours ago, someone said to me they were miserable. And then on the same afternoon, someone sent me a text and said they were depressed. We're talking about how do you spot good? This is Walk and Talk 301, March 12th. We go through life and we can get wrapped up in good things or evil things. Last week we talked about how to spot evil. Today we're talking about how do we know if we're going down the good track. I mean, if you're miserable, if you're depressed, you need to evaluate. How do you identify what's good? You read the news, you listen to the news, you check out what's going on with your friends, you communicate, you constantly discover that what was good is now evil, and what was evil is now good. How do you live your life and not get depressed? How do you live your life and not get miserable? How do you enjoy every day, every moment? In this walk and talk, there's one verse in the Bible, Proverbs 12:13. It's practical. How do you identify what's good? Proverbs 12:13, not 12:12, but Proverbs 12:13 says, an evil person is trapped by the offense of his lips, but the good will escape from trouble. The good, the person who knows right from wrong, good from evil. So let me give you some practical observations of how not to be miserable, how not to be depressed, how to identify good and go after the good, not the evil. So notice Proverbs 12:13, it says, but the good, the righteous, will escape from trouble. And that phrase comes right after the sentence that says an evil person is trapped by the offense of his lips. So if you want to identify good, just simply listen to the conversation and identify what the topics are and what are the values behind the topics. The good will escape from trouble. So in other words, if you want to identify what's good, you have to listen to the conversation, be willing to identify the values of the topic. What are the people saying? What are you saying? And recognize that trouble follows evil. And good follows the opposite of evil. If every good and perfect gift comes from above, God, then what you don't want to do is get caught up in the conversations that pursue evil. So how do you identify good? You need to know what God thinks. What does the Bible say about what is good? So if you're conversations and your topics are not reflecting, they don't sound like the Bible. They sound evil. They sound miserable. They sound depressing. I'm encouraging you to just listen to the words, listen to the conversations, listen to the stories, listen to the topics, and begin to contrast good versus evil. Remember, there is a good. Remember, evil does exist. And good, the Bible says, comes from God. Good is explained in the Bible, and you have to decide, are you going to take the explanation from the Bible? Are you going to take the values from the Bible? Are you going to take the truth as defined in the Bible? Or are you just going to ignore God? See, when you ignore God, you ignore His values. How do you spot good? Good is anything that agrees with God. Good advances the values of God. So again, look at Proverbs 12:13. The first verse says, the evil person is trapped by the offense of his or her lips, but the righteous, the good person, will escape from trouble. So trouble comes from good. Less trouble comes from evil, but good comes from God. Live your life in such a way that you reflect the values of God. In other words, when the conversations, when the stories, when the topics, when the words are being expressed and you're listening to them, start to think good versus evil. Start to think that the words that are being expressed, the topics, the words reflect the values of God. That's good. Or the words express anti-God, anti-Bible. That's evil. Every day you have to make up your mind, does good come from God? Every good and perfect gift comes from above. Or does good come from being anti-God, anti-Bible, against the Bible? Good conversation keeps you out of trouble. If I was to say, let's go create trouble, let's create problems for ourselves, most people would say, that's crazy. But isn't it interesting that what we talk about, what we dwell on, what we have conversations over, this verse is simply saying the good will escape from trouble. So be aware that the conversations, the topics, the discussions, the dialogue, the gossip, the slander, the hate that comes through the conversation out of your mouth, listen carefully and you can identify good. Listen carefully and you can identify evil. I'm encouraging you that you can avoid problems by focusing on God. Focus on the Bible. Focus on what is good. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. So if you're living your life and you're discovering, as a friend said yesterday, they were living, described life as being miserable, or another friend described life as being discouraged, depressed. Evaluate when you hear those words, when you see that topic, when you have those conversations. Are people pursuing the good, that which is agreeable to God, that which aligns with God, that which the values that complement God? You see, if you go all the way back in the Bible, God created everything. And he began to say, as he created, this is good. Then he said, this is good. This is good. This is good. As you go forward in the Bible to the New Testament, the Bible says every good and perfect thing comes from God. Life is much better when you're talking about what's good, pursuing the good. When you start pursuing evil and you're talking about evil, trouble. Or you can avoid the trouble and just simply focus on the good. Some people have said to me, it's kind of boring living good. And I have gently said, do you know where evil will take you? And friends, it's amazing. Everybody knows that pursuing evil leads you to trouble and more trouble. I'm encouraging you in this walk and talk. Every good and perfect thing comes from above. So with your words, with your conversations, with your topics, with what comes out of your mouth, you can identify what is good by, that's God, that's from the Bible, that's not God, that's not from the Bible. Now, it doesn't have to mean that you have to become hateful or mean, but you have to discern good versus evil. And you discern that by listening to the conversations. As people talk, as people express their challenges. Just because someone is in disagreement, that doesn't mean that you just quit doing what the Bible says and just go ahead and support evil. The Bible is simply saying, you want to stay out of trouble? The good conversations, doing the good that God identifies as good, you'll escape trouble. An evil person is trapped by the offense of his lips, but the righteous, the good, will escape from trouble. How do you escape trouble? You pursue every good and perfect thing comes from God. Make sure that you understand good is defined by God. It's not defined by you and me. Good is explained in the Bible. What is good? Just start reading the Bible. Start identifying. Stealing is not good. Lying is not good. Hating Gossiping, slandering, not good. Cheating, not good. Screaming at your friend or your neighbor, not good. Being depressed is not good. Being miserable is not good. Get behind the values of God. Get behind what the Bible says. Get behind what Jesus says. I'm encouraging you in this walk and talk. You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be good morning. You don't have to be hard-hearted. You don't have to be hateful. The Bible is saying you can stay out of trouble just by getting behind the values of God. One more practical suggestion. Remember that every day is a new beginning. Every day you get to basically start over. The Bible says that God forgives. The Bible says you can forgive. The Bible says God forgives you when you confess what's evil and turn from the evil and you do good. The Bible says if God can forgive you, you can forgive yourself. I'm just simply reminding you, mercy is pretty good. And compassion is good. But evil is not. Every time you stand up for what's good, you find you're green. Good morning. Every time that life takes that twist and you're discovering you're discouraged, you're upset, you're mad, listen to your words. Listen to the conversation. Listen to the topics. Are they agreeing with God? Are they following Jesus? Are you aligned with what the Bible says? Enjoy the good that God has given you. Every day, enjoy the good. This is Walk and Talk 301. We've been looking at Proverbs chapter 12, verse 13, how to spot good. March 12th, you're invited to worship with us this coming Sunday at 9:30 and 11, First Baptist Church, Tempe, Arizona. You can check the church out on the website, fbc-tempe.org. Email the church and church staff will get back to you. You can call the church at 480-839-0926. Be happy to help you in many different ways. Bible classes are available for children, youth, single, married, all ages. There are women's classes, men's classes. There are mission trips, camps. There's all kinds of opportunities, Bible studies, all kinds of opportunities for you to learn about God, study the Bible, discover the good, spot the good, speak the good. Today's a great day to avoid evil and pursue every good and perfect gift comes from God. Blessings on you.